We continue at this hour to follow breaking news. It is coming out of Atlanta. FBI agents are executing a search warrant.
The FBI revealed today that 33 people have now been charged, 30 taken into custody, all of it following a very visible raid.
Start by this press conference by telling you that this prosecution is not about...
You've seen the drug busts, the bricks of cocaine, the bags of meth. But that's only half the story. The real prize, the singular goal of every cartel operation in America, is this: getting the money home. And for years, they've been doing it by hijacking the most mundane system imaginable, the trucks that deliver your food, your furniture, your life. The FBI just pulled back the curtain on a scheme so brazen, it was hiding in plain sight. This is the untold story of the cartel's billion-dollar highway. The investigation, codenamed Operation Rolling Vault, didn't start with a flashy tip. It started with a discrepancy. In a warehouse district outside Kansas City, a routine audit by the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit flagged a small, family-owned trucking company, Midwest Regional Freight. On paper, they were struggling, but their trucks never seemed to break down. They paid their drivers 30% above union rates, and they had a peculiar specialty: hauling lightweight, low-value goods like packing peanuts or recycled cardboard on long-haul routes from the Midwest to the Mexican border. This wasn't a business model, it was a siren. Why would you run empty or near-empty trucks at a massive loss? Agents began a multi-pronged assault. Surveillance teams followed these ghost trucks. The pattern was bizarrely consistent. A truck would leave a depot in Chicago or Detroit, loaded with legitimate, low-bulk cargo. It would drive to a major distribution hub, a mall loading dock in Columbus, a wholesale market in Dallas. It would park for precisely 90 minutes. During that window, surveillance observed unmarked vans pulling up alongside. No visible cargo transfer took place. The truck would then continue its journey south. Meanwhile, forensic accountants dove into a spiderweb of financial records. They discovered Midwest Regional Freight was just one leaf on a vast tree. It was linked through shell companies and complex ownership structures to dozens of other small to mid-sized trucking firms across the country's interior. These companies operated in a strategic cash vacuum corridor, sucking up money from drug sales in every major city in the Northeast, Rust Belt, and Midwest. The system was designed to be lean, low profile, and untraceable. The cartels weren't using their own flashy fleet. They were infesting America's existing, legitimate trucking industry. The how was a masterpiece of criminal engineering. Investigators learned that cartel money laundering. The FBI realized they were looking at the cartel's central nervous system. The drug shipments were the arteries, bringing the product to market. But this cash smuggling network was the venous return, the lifeblood flowing back to the heart in Mexico. Without it, the entire organism dies. The cartels can't pay their soldiers, bribe officials, or fund the next production cycle. Shutting this down wouldn't just be a seizure, it would be a strategic decapitation of their financial viability. The scale was dizzying. Based on traffic patterns, fuel purchases, and financial leaks, analysts estimated this one network alone was moving between $200 and $500 million in cash back to the cartels every single year. This wasn't a side hustle. It was a Fortune 500 cash transit operation. And it had been running, undetected, for the better part of a decade, woven into the fabric of American commerce. The stage was set for a takedown, but the FBI faced a dilemma. Bust one truck, you find a few million. Arrest one driver, you get a low-level employee. They needed to map the entire network, from the street-level money packers in New York to the warehouse bosses in Laredo, and hit it all at once. They called it Harvest Day. And what they planned to harvest would be that commenced not with a single raid, but as a synchronized, nationwide traffic stop. In the pre-dawn hours, FBI SWAT teams, working with DEA and Department of Transportation inspectors, set up simultaneous safety inspection checkpoints on key interstate corridors in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. The targets were specific trucks, identified by their dot numbers and GPS trackers, which intelligence had flagged as loaded with the ghost cargo. The stops were designed to look routine, a brake light check, a tire inspection. But once the truck was directed to a secondary inspection area, teams of agents with K9 units and specialized non-invasive scanning equipment moved in. The dogs, trained on the scent of currency chemicals, went wild. Portable X-ray scanners, usually used to find narcotics, showed dense, blocky anomalies built into the very structure of the trailers. The drivers, following a strict comply and deny protocol, handed over their pristine paperwork, claiming ignorance. But the trailers themselves were about to start talking. Back at secured warehouses, agents began the painstaking process of forensic dismantling. Using blueprints from the manufacturers, they identified where the original trailer walls ended and the new, fraudulent ones began. The cargo itself, pallets of legitimate-looking diapers or paper products where only the outer layer was real. The interior of the pallet was a solid brick of cash, shrink-wrapped and disguised. The fuel tank trap, the most audacious of all, auxiliary fuel tanks that were never plumbed to the engine. They were accessed from underneath the trailer and contained only cash, sealed in chemical-resistant bags. The sheer volume of cash was physically overwhelming. Evidence rooms looked like bank vaults after an earthquake. Counting machines overheated. Agents, wearing gloves, spent days doing nothing but logging serial numbers. The initial seizure from just the first wave of trucks stopped on Harvest Day was over $47 million in physical US currency. And that was just the cash in transit. Simultaneously, arrest teams moved on the network's nodes. They hit the cash houses in suburban homes in Atlanta and Columbus, where money counters ran 24/7. They raided the seemingly legitimate warehouses that served as transfer points. And they apprehended the key facilitators, not just drivers, but the truck mechanics and welders who custom-built the hidden compartments, the dispatchers who routed the special loads, and the corrupt managers at legitimate trucking companies who rented out slots in their fleets for astronomical off-the-books fees. Attack the digital layer. Cartels are increasingly using cryptocurrency to move value. The next rolling vault may involve seizing digital wallets and hacking their financial communication platforms. Demand reduction is national security. Ultimately, the river of cash starts with a river of demand. Stemming the American appetite for illicit narcotics is the only long-term strategy to drain the cartel's power. The final image of Operation Rolling Vault is not the cash. It's the ordinary truck. It's the realization that the vehicle that delivered the new sofa to your neighbor's house last month might, on its return trip, have been carrying the profits from an overdose cluster 3 states over. The cartels have achieved the ultimate camouflage, boring, everyday normality. The FBI's smash of this network is a critical victory. It proves these systems can be found and destroyed. But it also serves as a dire warning. The cartels are embedded. They are innovative. And they are patient. They will study this loss, adapt, and attempt to rebuild. The billion-dollar highway may be closed, but the cartels are already surveying for a new route. The question for us is, are we building smarter checkpoints, or are we just waiting to find out what they try next? The war isn't on the border. It's in the lane next to you, on your drive home tonight.